hope everyone's doing well. So, my name is Rudy, and thanks for being here. I would like to talk to you today about a topic that I think most of us are fairly passionate about. But first, I would like to start with a photo. So this is one of the streets in a district in Seoul called Gangnam, which was popularized by the K-pop singer Psy in his hit single Gangnam Style. And as is often the case with many bustling districts of downtown areas of large cities, there are a lot of mafias in Gangnam as well. And one of my acquaintances is a landlord to a property that is home to several members of the mafia. And I was speaking to him a while ago, and he told me that he visited his property and he found a lot of computers in the home of these mafia members. So I asked him, well, what are they doing? Are they mining bitcoins? And he said, no, they're playing Lineage. And now, for those of you who are not familiar with Lineage, this is, I think, the highest grossing gaming franchise of all time in Korea. Something like 11 figures. And so these mafia members, they were spending all their free time trying to become castle lords in this game, which is an extremely high status thing in this world. And as a castle lord, you contribute to the ecosystem and the economy of this gaming reality. So basically, I think it's pretty safe to assume that these people are not contributing positively to the economy or the ecosystem of the real world of Korea. But in their free time, they are trying to become, in this alternate reality, what they are not in the physical one, which is a contributor or a creator. I think Ready Player One is a great example of a vision of a type of a metaverse. And I won't try to get into all the intricacies of the Ready Player One universe here. But I would like to touch upon one element that Ready Player One highlights that I think is pretty fundamental to any aspiring metaverse project, and that is incentivization, financial incentivization. Again, like the whole narrative is based on how you can monetize your time and be rewarded for that, how you can lose your assets and things like that while you're interacting in different types of gaming or social experiences, right? And if you look at successful Web2 apps like TikTok or Instagram or whatever, the creators tend to obviously try to create more and engage their followers a lot more if there are stronger financial incentives, right? Makes sense. You have 24 hours in a day, and to spend more time on an app means to spend less time on some other aspect of your life. So it just makes sense that stronger financial incentives, money, is one of, if not perhaps the strongest justification to your time spent on a particular platform or service. And the fact that we have 24 hours in a day and that we are all going to die is very fundamental to the concept of the metaverse. Since ancient civilizations were established and history was recorded, we have always been sort of fascinated, or actually cognizant of death, right? And that has led us to think a lot about death and alternate realities, whether it is in the form of afterlife or aliens or gods. Also, our awareness of death has led us to try to increase our time efficiency through the development of telephones or automobiles or personal computers or Twitter. So I think the metaverse is a reflection of our tendency to be interested in alternate realities and time efficiency. Technologies like AR and VR will dramatically increase the market share that virtual fashion has in the overall fashion industry relative to physical fashion. And I mention this because I think it's a great example. Virtual fashion is, from the perspective of purchase and wearing, it is more time efficient than physical fashion. It's also more ESG friendly. So it's one example of an area where the metaverse can expand into a lot more. And that is what led us to develop our service, our platform called Zepeto. And to be really honest, we didn't really have a lot of long-term thinking or grand plans when we started Zepeto 3 years ago. We just looked around and we thought, well, there are a lot of avatar platforms that have boxy avatars, low polygon. What if there was a different type of aesthetic? What if there was a more streamlined kind of a look, more slicker kind of a fashion offering that we could have? And that's just kind of how we started to build, and we shipped this pretty quickly. And we were just thinking about, okay, how do we make a slicker looking custom avatar platform? That's it. When we shipped this, by month 4, we were getting close to 10 million organic downloads a month with 0 marketing dollars spent. And we did not spend a single dollar on paid marketing until, I think, after 18 months or something like that. And it was all like organic growth that was driven by, honestly, a bunch of teenagers and college students that were using their Zepeto avatars as their PFPs on WeChat, Line, KakaoTalk, etc. So no marketing money. Instead of spending marketing dollars, what we did was we spent R&D money and dev resources, to develop a lot of features that would kind of add layers, social layers, to the custom avatar experience. So, things like create a post, facilitate the creation of memes, social feed, things like that, so you could show off your custom avatar to other creators, other users, and inspire them or provoke them. And then we added a 3D open world layer to our application so that you could do the same thing, show off your custom avatar looks in a 3-dimensional setting, and also engage with other users and creators. And that approach has led us to onboard more than 300 million users, and we've generated over 2.5 billion transactions of virtual fashion items, making us one of the largest, maybe if not the largest, virtual fashion marketplace in the world. Even today, every day, we have over 3 million transactions of virtual fashion items happening on our platform. And that is sustained and grown through this online editor tool that we offer, enabling users who are skilled in 3D design software like Maya. You can create your own unique, sophisticated, weird kind of fashion items, dresses, shoes, whatever. And even if you're not skilled in 3D design software, we offer a multitude of different templates that you could use to still be able to publish your own goods and create your own fashion brands. And one of the most rewarding things about working at Zepeto is that there are many success stories that we encounter. This is one of our early creators called, she goes by the name Lenji, and she studied and prepared to enter the fashion industry, but for whatever reason, lack of the right connections and such, she found it tough to break into the fashion industry. But then she found Zepeto, and she thought, well, maybe she would go all in and try to become a virtual fashion designer. And after 2 years, She is now making around $1 million a year. She has real world fashion brands approach her and say, hey, I want to do a drop with you. I want to do a capsule collection with you. Let's bring in your virtual design. You can virtualize our collections, and let's have like this limited partnership going. So it's really interesting to see these kind of people achieve not exactly the same thing, but achieve what they wanted to achieve in a different way through the metaverse and the creator economy that we're offering. And she's not alone. When we launched our online editor tool that I mentioned, in our first year, we did a 10x growth in the number of creators who were using the online editor tool. Today, we have over 2 million creators that are using our tool to create and publish their own virtual fashion brands. And I think that is a testament to the incentivization-based, time-efficient methodology that we've set up for our creator economy. And that has global appeal because our top markets include Indonesia, Thailand, US, France, Brazil, Korea, China, Japan, Vietnam, Philippines. So very, very global, very distributed. And I think that kind of a global appeal that has so many different creators and followers onboarding Zepeto and using it is what attracts different brands. Specifically, or exactly, more than 200 different brands, ranging from the likes of Starbucks and Samsung to Disney and Gucci and Nike, to work with us. And I think if you look at certain hard metrics, it's pretty safe to say that we are we operate the largest metaverse platform based out of Asia. So particularly when you're trying to reach an APAC audience, we are not a bad partner to work with, given that 2/3 of our user base are based in APAC. But it's not just virtual fashion designers that are making a living off of Zepeto. We also have people that studied interior design, or just really brilliant 14-year-olds that are creating virtual buildings and worlds commissioned by various brands. And these people are also making 5-6-figure incomes annually. We also have virtual singers, singer-songwriters that are busking every night across different time zones in different worlds, who have organically garnered fandoms that follow them across different worlds to see them perform. And we started seeing this a couple years ago. Now it's like a full-blown subculture in Zepeto. We never planned for this kind of stuff, which is why our audio solution is actually not so great. So we're working on to upgrade that. But when I see something like this, I think it is the same thing as the mafia members trying to become castle lords. It's a simple human instinct. You want to become something different, or you want to try to free yourself from certain physical restraints to be able to do what you want to do. And it's honestly, it's something that we've seen for a long time. It's not new. It's been decades, honestly. But more recently, in recent years, we've seen Lil Miquela, KDA, all these different projects. On the right hand, a screenshot of a virtual fan meeting that Blackpink had in Zepeto. Blackpink is the largest K-pop girl band in the world. We've had Selena Gomez do an activation on Zepeto and many other different celebrities. So I think the established performers from the legacy world, as well as the more digitally native indie up-and-coming performers, they both accept and acknowledge that the metaverse is the next frontier for their creator economy. So I want to close with a little souvenir. This is Arrival of a Train, produced by the Lumiere brothers in the late 19th century, one of the first films to be produced and shown. When this was screened in 1896, people had never been to a movie theater before. They'd never seen a film before, right? So when they saw the train coming, they thought it was an actual train, so they jumped and they fled from their seats so that they wouldn't get hit, right? It's funny to think about it now, but again, things become funny only after time. And I think what's interesting is that the cinema and TV industries that advance technology-driven content, for the last 100+ years, they have led us to consume content that we watch and then we think, oh, this is separate from our reality. So we watch, Emily in Paris and Squid Game and James Bond, and we think that's great, amazing, but we think it's not real, it's not connected to my life. But what's interesting is that with the proliferation of more metaverse projects and platforms, which are also advancing technology-driven content, here, there's so much more connection to be made with our IRL finances, identities, and social networks. So it's a kind of a merger that is happening between the alternate realities and our physical realities. To be honest, we won't even be calling it alternate in time. Like, who cares about online dating? You just swipe left, right, it's all the same shit, right? So it's that kind of a distinction won't even exist. It is a merger of different perceptions, and we at Zepeto, as well as all of the creators that we work with, are extremely excited to see what we, as a race, how we can adapt to this merger. Thank you.
Thank you. Rudy, we actually have time for one question if you'd want to take a question.
Sure. I don't know if you want to. Two, more than two. What is the percentage of developers, coders, and creators which they use templates or blocks? Okay. So we have two different types of creators that, we have many different, but for simplicity's sake, we have two different types of creators. One, creators that create worlds and games, right? And then two, creators that create clothes or bags or shoes, right? I was primarily talking about the second category. That alone has more than 2 million creators. Of that category, I would say the vast majority, we haven't really counted, but I would say the vast majority are casual creators that are using templates. Because to be skilled in Maya and things like that is a higher bar.
Thank you. All right, one more round of applause for Rudy.
Thank you.